Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to yet another edition of the Lambom Show. Today is Thursday, June 6th, and I'm coming to you from Washington, D.C. in preparation for the Bishop Rogan College Ex-Students Association USA Annual Convention that's taking place in Minnesota beginning tomorrow. I can say the convention has actually begun because there are a couple of people who have been in Minnesota since Tuesday and they keep arriving. We just want to give a preview what the weekend is going to look like, what we are anticipating. And I'm glad to have on set welcome the branch president, Minnesota branch, Mr. Rich Lokombe. Rich, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to appear on your platform. My name is Richard Lokombe, and I'm chapter president of BiRoColExSA, Minnesota.
Rich, congratulations. I was surprised that Minnesota decided to host the convention because I didn't know there were this many Bishop Rogan ex-students in Minnesota. And last year, you guys came to DC and decided to take the bulls by the horn and said we were going to host the convention. So, a little bit about the chapter. How is the Minnesota chapter structured? How many of you are there, and how are the activities?
Well, currently we have 27 members, some which are active, some which are not. We currently have a member who is in deployment, and we have 4 visiting priests who are part of our chapter. And each time they visit America, they can identify as chapter members in Minnesota. So everybody for see this it may surprise people that we have come back again to host the convention. The last time we did was in 2013, and it took a long time for us to get back to it because we have been rebuilding the chapter and building more. So I think this is going to be an opportunity for people to see growth. Trust me, there were actually about 5 active members or a little more at that time. So we can proudly say we are up to 27 members right now.
So again, Minnesota chapter hosting this year's the 2024 Bishop Rogan College Ex-Students Association USA Annual Convention. And just before we go on, I really loved something that you guys have done this week. And let me get that on. Present, share screen.
Now wait, you know, it's a high spiritual journey. So, then I tell you, there's a carnality. You know, if you see, I say, when person it's like a high level for spiritual realm. You know, interrupt the person without unnecessary salute.
Oh, no vex. I say, I wonder what we can do them all side and Latin song.
So, you know, those people, the person that get elevated spirituality. I want to see Bishop Bibi. Yes, like a Bibi when a bishop of Buea diocese here. And so I want cleanse because it's important to go ask here. I need to cleanse all that them on them, carry them. You know, so they be flying out as a sardine container. Those are go see bishop. So I want cleanse them. And I did for high spiritual realm now.
But you want to go see Bishop now for it, you know.
Anyway, so it is so. I don't know whether you know about this, but now to me, Omano, BiRoColExSA, USA. Let me say, excellence of Bishop Rogan College, the USA national chapter. They get their national convention. So it is so when I don't look their program from the 7th of June to the 9th of June, it is sure say they get plenty activities there. So that 7th of June, they get to the football, basketball, tennis match them and all that. Then you get barbecue for them. And look again on the 8th, it shows say it is so they get AGM and other kind of thing there, boat ride and all that, but they still get a dinner for inside the say chop go involved. Then I look again on the 9th, they get holy mass, other kind of thing there. So but it shows say they get lunch, we say chop still involved. So it is so I don't tell myself it is so I want them for go see Bishop because of that program.
But Auntie Feli, all the explanation we don't give, so now I concern Bishop now.
So yes, I talk holy mass. Holy mass, now Bishop Bibi go to do holy mass. You understand? So it is so so when Bishop the travel, he travel with him. So I look and say, it is I want to go to make you recommend me the cook. We go cook that they are dinner there, or they are lunch there, barbecue. Now me because I already get some spices, they were already ready and now for go the convention. So nobody that say I want to say when I enjoyed a flight to nobody that say I enjoyed this thing, but if Bishop the travel as a team, nobody if you join me too for day, I go for day. They go already get better cook when they don't pay flight. Now Bishop he pay that flight now self so now when I want to meet up you, because you go to talk holy mass, he said, I don't look your own diet. I say no, myself, I feel in they keep doing some kind of thing and short challenge and like, hey, wait, keep you for that American fine.
But Auntie Feli, you the go Bishop Rogan ex-student their convention, their national convention. But you instead sing for Latin. Why sing their anthem small you elevator?
Say me, after this, so me, I train it's a Latin mass. But even the anthem, that's what you know. Oh, me, I know what I think them. I know I'm Latin. When I meet up Bishop, say I'm that Bishop. That's simple thing. Oh, blessed, yeah, collegian, blessed BiRoColExSA everywhere. Oh, blessed, yeah, collegian.
Guy, Auntie Feli, you bad. You bad.
So, Rich, I'm kind of intrigued how you guys got the. I mean, by the way, who is that? For the sake of the audience, who is that, and how did you guys get him to?
So this is a comedian. Oh, it's a gentleman who goes by the name Auntie Felicia. He does this disguised dressed as a woman called Auntie Felicia, who does comedy to entertain the people of the world and the people of Cameroon. So this idea came up just to bring some fun into the convention and to pass across some information. So keep in mind, he has a very massive fan base all over social media, and our goal was to reach out to BiRoColExSA, BiRoColians all over the world, who actually follow this page to be aware of certain certain changes that are coming across North America and all over the world. So the goal is to have solidarity amongst BiRoColians and ex-students all over the world. So it is good to have social media reach out. So this was just to spread across the world and say, hey, there's something big coming in Minnesota, and the Bishop of Buea Diocese is going to be part of that convention.
So I really want to applaud you guys. I want to congratulate you because I think even just the idea of it and the way it's laid out is kind of very entertaining, and congratulations to Auntie Philly. So now let's get into it. Minnesota is kind of a hub for many Africans, isn't it? You have a lot of Ethiopians, Eritreans, but also a lot of Cameroonians. And summer is quite a busy period. Conventions have started. Okay, so towards the end of May, you had the Sobans. They were in Arizona, Sase Old Boys, and I think the Bali Cultural Association had theirs that same weekend in Oklahoma. Now it's Minnesota. What are we expecting this weekend?
Well, Minnesota is full of surprises. So there's one thing I'll tell you about Minnesota community: they support each other. So there's that need for us to come together and build our community. So each time we call on Minnesota community to come and support us, we can count on them 100%. That's what I can guarantee you. There's conventions going out there. We're making donations to cultural groups who need support, groups that are doing philanthropic work, doing charity work. So Minnesota is really great with Africans and Cameroonians at large. Now, the convention coming to Minnesota is going to be a blessing to all of us because guess what? I'm a good president. I promise my people and I deliver. This weekend, we are going to have some good quality music. One of them is Prince Carter, who is a son to one of our an older super delegate member of the 1965 batch by the name Bobby Jerome. Prince Carter is a son who is an artist. He is going to bless the people of Minnesota with his good music. Now you may surprise people and say, how can BiRoColExSA bring a rapper into this? But guess what? He's one of us. We are going to showcase his talent and say that you cannot be in your book under your bed hiding your talents. You got to come out there. The likes of Petit, the likes of Jean-Pierre Essome, good Makossa music. It's all coming your way this weekend. Then we are going to start our convention with a soccer game. We are playing as a old boys. Last year we played them in Maryland. We were lucky to invite them and they accepted our invitation. This year we are still playing Sobans who live in Minnesota. Then in the evening, we are going to have a welcome barbecue. The welcome party is to meet and greet friends who haven't seen over the year, college mates who haven't seen over the years, everybody, friends, uh, well wishers of BiRoColExSA are all welcome. Then we can go back to the hotel and get some rest. On Saturday, we are going to start with a mass in the morning. Our AGM is going to last for a couple of hours. And then in the evening, we have this beautiful show, the gala night. The people of Minnesota have been invited. BiRoColExSA have come from all over North America to enjoy this beautiful soiree. On Sunday, as you heard Auntie Felicia, we are going to have a mass by the bishop. There's other priests who are coming to join us, which I cannot actually count how many right now, but the bishop is here and we're going to have Holy Mass. And then we are going to have a meet and greet for the people of the Cameroon community, the CWA women who actually fellowship at that church, and all Catholic Christians who want to join us for Mass on Sunday. We are going to bid farewell and have a farewell barbecue for people to have safe flights and a beautiful convention that we actually hope and pray that it happens with no negativity and everybody is happy and they get back to their families safely.
So I want to welcome on stage the national president, Mr. Collins. Collins, I know you are out of where you are. I don't want to say your comfort zone. I know you are having dinner with the bishop, and that's that's a good thing. But we want to welcome you on the platform, the national president of Bishop Rogan College ex-students in the United States, Mr. Collins. And Collins, I don't remember. You used to be in Boston. Are you still there?
No, now I'm in Dallas. I moved to Dallas a couple of years ago.
Okay. So the national convention you are hosting in Minnesota, you are on the ground. What are we supposed to be looking forward to?
Oh, I'm actually very excited being here because the Minnesota team has done a very wonderful job getting everything ready for us to come and celebrate with them. I'm looking forward to the masses. I'm looking forward to the debates. Some of my favorite activities is actually the Saturday and Sunday mass. As a BiRoColExSA, and I've always enjoyed the singing, especially when we are together. They sing, everybody singing their own parts, trying to remember what we used to sing, go back to the days. And plus, the stories don't hurt. Like some of the stories, the mocking. I mean, we're all brothers here, so we always make fun of each other. So that's one good thing that I'm always looking forward to.
I am glad that you highlight a very key factor of formation in the Bishop Rogan College. And for the sake of those who are wondering what Bishop Rogan College is, it is a minor seminary, 7 years. You're supposed to go through from 1 through from 5, then high school. And it's supposed to be a place where people discern a vocation to the priesthood. And so you should not be alarmed that in a state like Minnesota, you have 27 ex-students. That means these guys just went through and ended up not becoming priests. anything wrong because they're discerning a vocation to the priesthood. But one of the peculiarities about Bishop Rogan College is that the school has music on its curriculum. So music is taught as a subject, isn't it? Apart from aside from being taught that way, music is part of it. So I'm really happy that you highlighted that fact of music, and Minnesota is taking it one notch up because they are bringing in artists. I really wish and look forward to the day we are going to have our own Bishop Rogan College artists who are going to perform. But that's just a preview. Mr. President, National President, there is a Bishop of Buea present here. Why is that significant? Why did we find it necessary to fly the bishop all the way to Minnesota for a convention like this?
This is actually the first Bishop of Buea who is an ex-student. He is part of us. He went through the school. He knows what it feels like. He knows the dream. He knows what it means to be a BiRoColExSA. So he's the first Bishop of Buea to be an exan. So we have other bishops, we have other exans who have been bishops, but this is the first to be the Bishop of Buea. So to us, that is a significant, that at least we're working with, it's easy to work with your brothers. We're working with one of our brothers. So during this weekend that he's actually here with us, most of his time he's going to be spending with us and partaking in the activities that we have. So that's going to be a plus. So that was really, for us, it was really significant to invite our first Bishop of Buea, who's an ex-student.
So I mean, I'm very biased, and I'm wondering, Richard, did you contribute to this? You wanted to hype the event to a certain level. That's why you insisted that the bishop. What's the significance of the bishop coming to Minnesota?
Well, Minnesota is a very friendly state. It is a blessing that we have the bishop. And I can tell you for sure that all Cameroonians are very excited. We want to grace this occasion with His Holiness, with that presence. We want to give the people of Minnesota a gift. We want to give the people of BiRoColExSA a gift. The bishop, guess what? The bishop is going to be here, and some of his classmates are going to be here. So it is some sort of a reunion that is going to happen in Minnesota. That is so wonderful. I mean, it's a humbling experience for me to be able to be the host chapter president, and then the bishop is here. Mr. Collins, thank you so much for making this happen. I really appreciate what you did for the people of Minnesota and BiRoColExSA branch. Thank you.
So by some coincidence, Buea Diocese owns Bishop Rogan College, isn't it? That's Bishop Rogan College is under Buea Diocese, so the bishop is the proprietor of the college, isn't it?
Yes.
And this year, the diocese itself is celebrating its 75th anniversary, and so it's a blessing that we have. And I'm glad you mentioned that point about Bishop Bibi being an ex-student, because that's very important. It's very important to highlight that fact. I was with Bishop Bibi and Bishop Rogan together. We were there together, so I know, and we went to the major seminary together. So, and he's my very good friend. So that's how.
Actually, I did not know that fact. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and again, in addition to that, Bishop Rogan is celebrating his 60th anniversary this year, isn't it? In November, we're going to have that big celebration. So we can see that the official launch of the 60th anniversary is taking place in Minnesota, with the proprietor present, who happens to be an ex-student, and it's a blessing that we have that. So we have taken that backwards, isn't it? We have it from Sunday, that's the High Mass. What happens tomorrow, Richard? Can you walk us through one more time?
Tomorrow, we begin with welcoming BiRoColExSA who have to make it on time at the hotel. That's where we're going to start our reunion, by checking in into the hotel. Then our first activity will be a football match with ex-students of Sase College at 4 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. And then there's going to be a basketball match with BiRoColians who play basketball, and some basketballers in Minnesota. And then we're going are going to have a welcome get together. We're going to have a singing practice towards the end of it. So it's going to be our first reunion tomorrow, and Saturday we continue with the rest of the activities.
So I really wanted to ask you why you decided to reverse the order in which we have always had things happen at the convention. Because normally Fridays are always very free. We just come in and have a welcome and then have a barbecue. And then Saturday we start struggling with too many things. The AGM, which is always the business meeting, which never ends because we are struggling with too many things, and then go to the games. But this year, it seems as if you guys were inspired by the Holy Spirit. You decided to bring the games to Friday, and you chose the Sobans. Why couldn't choose another school? I mean, we have always beaten those guys. I know Sobans will not be happy.
Well, last year we beat them in Maryland. It's not going to be a surprise again this year. So the goal is we want to make sure that everybody comes on time. We are trying to encourage people to have a long weekend because there's always that need for us to do a lot of catch up, and we have a lot of stories to talk about. There's always new people who maybe haven't attended the convention. They always want to stay a little longer. So the 95 batch was actually present way ahead of everybody because they have their reunion on Friday. So we just want on Wednesday. So we just wanted to encourage everybody to come in early because this year is also an election year. We cannot have we don't have too much time to be able to play the game after um, after the elections. It may take for too long for us to be able to deliberate or for us to be able to cast our votes and pick a new leader. So we just wanted to divide these activities in such a way that it would spread around and keep everybody busy and entertained.
I wanted you to move away from elections because there's already a constitutional crisis. I don't want us to talk about that here now, okay? Because you have seen the thing about the constitution, and everybody should have. I know it's going to be a long meeting, but yeah, I'm glad you are talking about the fact that you wanted to create time, and you brought up something that is important, and I wanted to salute. I mean, I really wanted to celebrate that fact. In most alumni groups now, you have this tension between batches, branches, and the national, isn't it? So there are people who are so committed to their batch, they don't want to hear anything about belonging to a branch or belonging to national. They don't want any of that. They are so committed to that. And so I really wanted to applaud the 95 class because they started yesterday. They came in yesterday. They had their meeting yesterday, and they are staying on till. So to plan their class meeting a few days to the convention is something that we all need to salute because it shows that they want that connection. They want to also build it up. And I'm encouraging as many batches as possible. If you are trying to organize something, it may be nice to also arrange it around the convention so that it makes a lot of sense. You can plug in, have the same enjoyment as a branch, and then bring that over to the national. But Mr. President, so we talked about Friday. I wanted to come over to you. What is your vision for this year's convention? What are you looking forward to?
It is actually like I was just thinking about it. It's actually a very good time to be a BiRoColExSA and a Cameroonian, right? Because on Friday we have all the sport activity. We know what happens, the sport banter and all of that. And then we get to go have some dinner, and then we get to go singing practice. And then on Saturday we have mass and then the AGM. There's no need to, like Richard said, no need to rush over things. We can discuss things, deliberate, finish, have dinner before showing up to the gala. It's also very important because without crowding so many things on Saturday, we actually have the ability to enjoy our Saturday night with enough time that we can go back, rest, and then show up again on Sunday for mass. So it's actually really good. Like I'm actually looking forward to the sports, meeting all our friends, our brothers, and then being able to carry that solidarity from Friday into Saturday into Sunday, and then it's actually a good time to be being part of a Cameroon community, part of BiRoCol, because on Friday we get to meet everyone. On Saturday we get to go from AGM to gala, have artists. Some of us know them. Some of us are excited to see them. And then on Sunday, we have a Pontifical High Mass with a bishop. So it's like this weekend of like almost birthday glory, even though it's not our birthday, but it's like one exciting event after the next, after the next. So I really do thank the people of Minnesota. Like I really thank them for their hard work and their collaboration to make this event, to make the weekend be as exciting as it is.
So let's get over to Saturday, and I'm glad. So the one thing anybody watching you would have noticed is there's going to be too much music. Okay, we are already starting to practice, doing our choir practice at the barbecue tomorrow. On Saturday we have mass, and then again on Sunday we have the big mass. So throughout we are going back. We are actually going back to BiRoCol where you had mass every day. So those who have not had, welcome. But, Richard, I'm kind of, I mean, I don't want to say conflicted, but I'm like, how did you get these two great Cameroonian artists? When I played it somewhere, somebody asked me whether JP Essome was still existing because nobody has heard him for a while, and then Petit, and these are two great Cameroonian musicians who are going to be present. And I'm wondering, how did Bishop? We are not known to be people who are this secular. So how did you get these guys to be able to come and animate at our convention?
Okay, that is a good question. We just talked about our love for music. You can remember we had Mr. Nana Geneva who was teaching us music. It was really tough learning music. So it made all of us to love music in a way that we have a lot of interest in music. So I believe in growing our community and supporting one another, and giving people a good time may require sometimes a little sacrifices, and bringing an artist to an occasion it spices the whole event. It gives people that joy, and your community believes in you. They say, hey, this BiRoColExSA in Minnesota are something else. So every time you call them, they are expecting to have massive fun. So I just go out there in social media, look for these guys that we can pick to support their talent, and we give them an invitation. If they honor an invitation, fine. Good enough. Petit is in America right now. Good enough. Jean-Pierre Sommer is in America right now, and good enough. Prince Carter is one of us. He attends our meetings sometimes when he's in town. So why not use that opportunity? Why not give BiRoColExSA a great time? Why not have these people who say Chubo is my favorite artist have that memory of the convention, saying that in BiRoColExSA convention of 2024, we went to Minnesota and we had Petit who had always been my dream artist. The people who have never met Petit, the people who have never met Jean-Pierre Essome. This music, they never get old. It's so nice to listen to them. And why not have them come in live and perform for us so we can enjoy it?
So if you're watching, the major thing for you this weekend, forget about the discussions that we have had so far. You have three prominent artists. Minnesota. If you live in Minnesota, anywhere in Minnesota, and we look for you on Saturday and we don't see you, then you have a problem. You need to check into one of these mental health facilities. It's a weekend for music, Cameroonian music, Makossa. Come in and watch Petit. Okay? When is the last time you saw him? Come and watch Petit present to us live. As I just said, somebody was worried that I didn't know that he was still there myself. Okay, so you're going to have the best of the best Cameroonian music on Saturday evening. Get your dancing shoes. You didn't tell us about tickets. If some people who are listening and they're trying to arrange themselves for the weekend, what are they supposed to be doing in order to get to the event?
Well, we have VIP tables which are there's an ongoing sale right now, and tables are running out really fast. It is important for people to grab their tables. We want you to be comfortable while you listen to this music. We want you to be able to enjoy some premium service, some VIP service. There's an entry ticket for $50 for everybody who is interested to, to come in into the gala night and feast with the kings. So grab your tables, grab your tickets. If you can't have a ticket or a table, well, I don't know what you're thinking of doing this weekend in Minnesota, because it's going to be a fun night, and it's going to be something that is going to be in the books.
So I mean, you're just talking about the VIP table. I just a minister from Cameroon VIP? I just show up and say, "Hey, I'm a minister, therefore I should be on the VIP." What does it take? How much is it to get to the VIP table? I know an entry ticket is $50, but to get a VIP table, what does that entail?
A VIP table will go for $1,000 with 10 sitting chairs, and enough to drink, with quality drinks like Blue Label, 1738, and a lot more.
I'm already salivating, and I mean, you just mentioned the right things on that table. I think we have to hurry up to get that. But again, we are just inviting everybody, come and see what the Rogan Kings. Many people think that those of us who went to a seminary, we don't know how to enjoy life. They think all we do is pray. They don't know that we also play and pray. Okay, and so it's important. Come out if you are in Minnesota. Come out and support. But National President, last year in Maryland, we had the gala, and the way it went, a couple of mishaps left, right, and center. But one of the things that happened during that was there was fundraising. We raised some funds because they were doing some renovations. You just came back from Cameroon, and one of the interviews you granted to the Divine Mercy Radio and Television, owned by the Diocese of Buea, you were talking about the project. What is going on in Bishop Rogan College? Are we taking up a fundraising event again in Minnesota, and towards what project, if any?
Yes, this year we'll be doing the main fundraiser. In DC, we did a short fundraiser, but this time around, the work because of the junior doms, St. Martin's, Julius Peters, Charles Lwanga's, St. Paul, we are actually on to Charles Lwanga's, because Julius Peters is 80% completed. Martin's was already done. Julius Peters 80% completed. The project on Julius Peters is being led by NEC of Cameroon. So we started with Lwanga's, and right now we are still in the bedroom phase of the project. So we are in the bathing sales, are in the bedroom, and I think right now we are up to the stage of tiling. So when we fundraise tomorrow, we are hoping to get enough funds to be able to just knock out the rest of Lwanga's. Our hope is by November for the Jubilee, we should have 3 completed dormitories. That's our hope. Now we just have to hope that we can get the funds to actually get that completed, so that at that point, when we show up to campus, we have 4 renovated dormitories, 3 from the junior dorms and 1 the prospective dorm that was renovated by the bishop after St. Martin's was done. So
yeah, for the sake of the audience, they don't understand what you're talking about: St. Martin's, Jos Peters, Lwanga, St. Paul. But what the national president is referring to is Bishop Rogan ex-students worldwide, but especially in the United States, decided that we're going to help renovate the dormitories. And the last executive started that, and the first dormitory they did was St. Martin's. That's the name of a dormitory. That's where students who are from 1 to 5 in Bishop Rogan, you stay in one of those dormitories. High school students have a separate dormitory. They have, I think, two dormitories. So there are 4 dormitories: St. Martin's, Jos Peters, Charles Lwanga, and St. Paul. And so a couple of years they have done, and I mean, having seen them, I think you go there, you will not believe that it's a dormitory, isn't it? If you really go there and see how it is laid out. And the president was just informing us 80% of Jos Peters, the next dormitory that was taken up by the National Executive Council or the National Executive Committee in Cameroon, that the ones who are championing the Jos Peters. So what does it take? How much are we looking at? What is the figure we'll need in order to renovate 1 dormitory?
Right now, the projection for Charles Lwanga's, we're projecting about 19 million francs CFA. And that's in addition to inflation. When you add up all the little pieces, we're projected that it would take us about 19 million to complete the dormitory. Give or take, we're looking at about $30,000.
So the target for this year is to raise $30,000.
Yes.
So if Minnesota can bring 2 musicians and with that other guy, it means that they really want us to come out and raise enough money to complete that project. We don't want it to drag on as the others have, because they're taking Martins took at least 2-3 years. Jules Peters too. A lot of energy has been put up behind Jules Peters. So this is a call from the national president of Bishop Rogan ex-students in the United States. We want to raise $30,000 this weekend. That's not difficult to do. That's not difficult, isn't it? If everybody just pitched in $100, there are more than 300 of us in the United States. We'll take that. But since we're in Minnesota, if you cannot come, please, you're watching, you're listening, send your donation. And we're going to put up where you can send that donation. If you are inspired by what you just heard, Bishop Rogan College is a minor seminary where they train people to become priests. People go there to discern. And Bertrand Ade said priests and good Christians alike. I don't know about whether they train good Christians there. But those who fail to become priests, hopefully they become good Christians. But we are saying the dormitories, you would like to go there, go look at it. It's a good job. And let me be honest, those who went for the Golden Jubilee of Bishop Rogan College 10 years ago came back and wept at what they saw. The state of the dormitories was horrible, horrifying. And people said, no, we're not going to sit and just say, oh, it's the responsibility of the school. And that's why as ex-students, one way of just saying thank you for all that was done is to do this. And the president has just informed us officially this weekend is Operation $30,000. And I think that is doable. Mr. President of Minnesota, how are we going to do this now? 30,000.
Well, we have BiRoColians who have the spirit of giving. We have Minnesotans who believe in their community and uplifting others. We are counting on the people of Minnesota and BiRoColians all over North America to join us in this journey. We cannot do it alone. We are making effort. We are calling on everyone. The widows might make sure that we support these kids. We need to make this area comfortable for them to be able to study. It is very important to live in a healthy environment so that education can be made possible and easy. We're calling on every BiRoColian who is out there listening to us. Nothing is too small. If you contribute the little thing, you can impact one of the kids' lives in BiRoCol who is actually in a priestly formation. So, people of Minnesota, we urge you to come out in your numbers to support BiRoColExSA. People of BiRoCol all over North America, we are calling on your support. We all went through this journey and we know what it means to contribute, to be able to support each other, to be able to uplift each other. So we are calling on everybody to give in their little support and make this happen.
So, Afiadata, the one thing I forgot to ask you is, what was your experience when you went back on campus? After how many? I don't know when the last time was before this. Going back there, how did you feel? What was the sentiments? What were the sentiments you had?
You know that feeling when you sit, maybe say in a Cameroon restaurant or in a Cameroon environment, and somebody plays Bendeka behind you, right? You know that feeling that comes over you of like, oh my God, that's exactly how I felt like. Every time I step foot on that campus, I genuinely feel like a Form 1 kid coming back to school. That joy, that easy nature of everything just being easy. I mean, I was aided this time around that the students were actually still on campus. I got to speak to the students. They had choir practice going on at the time, so I got to peep in and listen to some of them sing. They sang the anthem, which again was goosebumps. It brings back all those memories. You walk into the chapel and you feel like you're coming in for evening vespers. Like you can relive the experience. Like it's so refreshing to you go back to campus and it seems like you are a student once again. Like nothing has. You feel like you're back home. You feel like you're at home. Like it's very welcoming, very free spirit. Like you enjoy the spirit. Like everything there makes you just feel like, oh yes, I'm home. This is where my smile start from. But yes, it was It was very, very refreshing and very nice to actually see the students on campus. Saw the Form 5 and upper students preparing for their GCE. And from one to follow us, we were very excited because they knew they were going home in a couple of days. So it was actually nice to see, to have that feeling of, oh, term holidays about to start. And they go home and the others are staying for GCE. So it was a good feeling. It was a good feeling.
Yeah, I also realized that you had the privilege of having a meeting with the bishop. I was wondering what the discussions you had with the bishop were. Were you telling him about the work that you have done?
I mean, I had to do two things. I had to thank him because when we did St. Martin's, when he came on campus and he saw the work that was done at St. Martin's, he thought of an idea that, okay, we're working on the junior dorms, and if you notice, right next to the sick bay, we have the prospective dormitory. So he took it upon himself and redid the prospective dormitory. So now we have prospective St. Martin's, Julius Peters all been almost completed. So I had to thank him for that because he could have still just sat but he saw what we were doing and he was very encouraging us to come and do the work. Like it's easy to work with, to collaborate with somebody who's willing to collaborate with you. So he was just offering words of encouragement that we should come and do the work. He has no opposition to anything. And we come, if we need any assistance from him, his doors are always open. So it's refreshing to find someone who's willing to open his doors and let us in to assist us deliver whatever, how small of a gift we have for them. So once if the school looks good, and then everybody wins. It's a society that everybody benefits from. So it was very encouraging, and it's very refreshing to see.
Right, and I also want to flag that Bishop Bibi always contributes as an ex-student. He's always giving his own support to whatever ex-students are. You've seen that a couple of times. Now let's move away a little bit from the convention and just talk about. I realize that there seems to be some antipathy or some animosity amongst Bishop Rogan ex-students. It seems as if there's a difficulty with belonging. And I'm wondering, Richard, because you have been able to tell us since 2013. It has taken you 11 years to be able to bring Bishop Rogan ex-students and have another convention. What is the problem? Because generally, if you go to, I don't want to compare with SASE because SASE is an older school. They have had a longer tradition, isn't it? They have more numbers, isn't it? But there seems to be something lacking amongst Bishop Rogan ex-students when it comes to belonging to the association and trying to see how we can build it. I don't know whether that's the same thing you experienced in Minnesota and how did you overcome that?
Well, I would say when in 2013 when the convention was in Minnesota, I wasn't here yet. So if it took this long for BiRoColians in Minnesota to come up again and said they wanted to host the convention, that is because they have taken enough time to be able to prepare all over again and say, yes, we are coming back strong this time around. We want to show that we are still here. It has taken us this long time to prepare again and come back to you. So give us an opportunity. Let's make you proud. I don't think it has anything to do with conflict. As for conflict among BiRoColians, I'm not really sure what is going on, but there is a need for us to intercollaborate, for us to share ideas, for chapters to be able to support each other. Last year we had a relaunching. It means we were bringing our chapter actively back to life again, and we invited the national president and he was here. He saw what happened. We gave people a good time. We promised them that we will call them again, and we're calling them this year. So it is time for other chapters to see that there is need to collaborate. There is a need for national to be involved into chapter participation. There's a need for national to come to chapters and say, hey, how can we help you guys to grow? There's a need for other chapters who are stronger to be able to endorse other chapters to make them grow stronger. So I think if we intercollaborate, if we come together and say there is a common good that we are fighting for, there is not going to be any conflict. If people are actually having conflict right now, maybe it's personal, but I haven't seen any conflict. I'm just saying that if we collaborate, if we collaborate with each other and share these ideas and share how it works, how other chapters are getting successful, I think there won't be any need for arguments. BiRoColExSA is going to be greater and greater. And then there's going to be these funds that we will be able to raise to handle our projects. It is very difficult to handle projects if we have different views. So we can't force people to be able to have the same ideas that we have, but we are begging and calling on all BiRoColians to take responsibility. This is our alma mater. We all have BiRoColExSA at heart, and when we take accountability and we show transparency in everything that we do, I believe that we can excel to the skies. It's not going to be our limit anyway. So let's just work together.
So before I come to you with the same question, Mr. National President, I mean, what is the secret in Minnesota? What is it that really makes you people gel the way you do? Because there's seemingly a real brotherhood there. You can see it every time you guys have a meeting. You see the number of people who show up, the pictures that you all post. What is it about Minnesota that makes you guys? Is there something specific that you want to share?
We actually exhibit love. We actually exhibit the willingness to come to associate with other um, other alumni. We invite people to our meetings who are not BiRoColians just to feast and share with us. We have monthly meetings that every member is supposed to attend so that we can deliberate, we can talk on issues. When we come up that we want to host a convention, we have talked about it, we have agreed, we have checked the possibilities of having everyone here and giving them a good time. So part of it is just consistency. When you have monthly meetings and you deliberate on issues, you come up with results.
Thank
And
you.
then BiRoColians in Minnesota are willing to support each other. So we check on each other. Everybody has each other's numbers. We check on each other. If I haven't seen any member as the president, I take it upon my responsibility to give them a call and find out and say, hey, what's going on with you? You're not showing up for meetings. So that we can know if you're having a difficulty. We can know how we can support you. So we encourage that communication, that oneness. That's what brings us together and it keeps us stronger.
So, Mr. National President, you have been at least 2 years. What's your assessment? What do we need to do to build up this association?
I used to be, I mean, when I lived in Boston, there was a time when I think Lambert, you remember this, when we used to say New England was the mother chapter, and we always go back and forth about that. But when I was in America, I joined BiRoColExSA around 2010, and I was in America before that. But one of our brothers, Brother McHenry, used to always pull me and say, you have to come to meetings, even if you have nothing to contribute. And I used to tell him I'm a student. I don't have any money to pay anything. And he would say, it doesn't matter, just come to meetings. At that time, it didn't matter in New England who you were, if you were the youngest or you were the oldest. So being there and watching them support me and saying, hey, okay, I'll pick you up for meetings. Something as simple as, oh, you don't have a right, I'll give you a right to meetings. I'll give you a right to the Cameroon Mass on Sunday. Little things like that. When it came time to, like, say, pay dues, in New England, for example, we used to come together and pay dues of members that were either students or we knew they just got to America. Because we told them that no matter what, you are part of us, you have to be part of us. You have to be counted. And when you see everybody trying to work together towards the same goal, it makes it very easy to kind of like say, okay, we want to do this, let's do it together. I'm not going to lie. I remember there were some conventions that Dr. Prisco will be the only one to book a hotel room. And we'll have the 2 queen beds hotel room. And we'll sleep 4 in the hotel room. And we had rules that we made it work for everybody. But he would book one hotel room and all of us would sleep. If we had to drive, we would pick one car, myself, Francis, Awunkan, Eddie. But we would drive in one car to the destination. We drove to Akron when the convention was in Akron, Ohio. We drove from Massachusetts. It was a way to show that, okay, even if we don't have the funds to say afford a flight ticket, We can together we can figure it out. If you're 4 of you in a car, you have to drive 12 hours. What is that? 3 hours each?
Yeah.
You swap it up and you take turns and somebody rests. So it's the spirit of it, it's like I always say, it's easier to argue over substance than it is to argue over the character of someone. It's easier when we understand each other as brothers and know where we're coming from and where we're going to. It's always said if you want to go fast, go alone, right? If you want to go far, go together. So we understand that as BiRoColExSA, yes, we're going to argue, we're going to bicker over little things. But when we always meet, you know that there's always that sense of unity. There's always that sense of oneness. We are in this together. We can bicker like every other, like siblings do. That's what we do. We bicker like siblings do. But when it comes down to it, when our hands need to be put in the mud and fight, we do it. We do it together. So I've always been proud of BiRoColExSA. I've always been proud of all our exams. Like we'll bicker, but we'll do the job. We'll do what needs to be done. But we just need to continue that spirit of oneness, that spirit of brotherhood, and understand that it's more focused on us, on we, versus the eyes. Like we need to continue to empower that spirit of togetherness, and that's the only way I see us going far. If we start trying to point fingers or anything, and then we're not going anywhere. But we need to encompass that spirit of togetherness, and once we do that, as we've always done anyway, that's why we always come out on top, because we always, at the end of the day, we always figure it out and do it together. So yeah.
Yeah, I think again, Bishop Rogan College, normally I don't remember any time there were more than 400 students on campus. Okay, so I don't think that it has even it has even gone beyond.
Yes.
And so the alma mater, the alumni association is not going to be big, isn't it? Small, but if we can continue, I want to ask both of you, because dealing with a lot of I mean, you all might not know that I went to 3 different schools. So one of the problems that we have with these organizations these days is there's a constant struggle between support that has to go to the alma mater and supporting members. There are people who are of the opinion that no, I paid my fees in Bishop Rogan College. I don't know why you're imposing that I should be paying, I should come and give money again. The students who are there, they pay fees, so we don't. And others who say, well, I am grateful for the time I spent in Bishop Rogan College. It has helped me to be who I am. I don't care whether fees were paid or not. I want to give back. And there's that constant tension. And you see some people who just say, I don't want to hear anything about sending money to Bishop Rogan College and all that. And others will say, okay, well, that's fine. So I don't know what you think about that philosophy. Should we continue supporting our alma mater and doing things? I remember one of the Bishop Rogan College, one of the ex-students said, it's a crazy idea that Bishop Rogan, the college is asking for money from its ex-students when students pay fees. But either of you, I don't know, just random thoughts before we round up. Richard.
I think the president should take on that, because the reason I'm bringing this to him is because he did something spectacular last year. BiRoCol, the results were exceptional, and he wanted to give some contribution to the teachers. So some BiRoColExSA did give their donations. They did contribute to support teachers. So we could still bring that up and say, why are we giving teachers money for having good results when they are being paid to do that? So he's in a better place to do it, because he took that decision, and a lot of BiRoColians contributed to it. So, Mr. President, I throw that back to you.
The way, honestly, individually, the way I look at it is, there is no BiRoColExSA without BiRoCol. And some of us have been fortunate enough to be in America for over 15 years. A lot of our schools that we attended in America were 50% or if not more funded by alumni. Alumni association is one of the things that get a lot of projects on campus done in America, which is why, to me, it's like, okay, we are alumni of BiRoCol. If we go on campus and we look at the nature of the dormitories, We should not forget that BiRoCol is celebrating 60 years. Some of those dormitories were built 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be renovated. We can lend a helping hand. I don't think, given the nature of Cameroon, 19, 20 million to renovate a dormitory, we really do not expect the bishop's house to be able to fund 19 million or 20 million times 4 to renovate a dormitory. So what are we doing as alumni, right? I look at it, it's a selfless sacrifice. You will not get a thank you for it. You will not get to go stay in the dormitory. But some kid, we can break the trend. If we start this trend, the kids who are on campus right now are seeing that their big brothers who left so many years ago have come back to renovate their living conditions. It starts a trend that when they leave, they then remember that, oh, our big brothers, we did the dormitories while we were there. Maybe we should take it upon ourselves to redo the sick bay. Maybe we should take it upon ourselves to redo the academic blocks. As for teachers, my take on that is, yes, they are getting paid to teach. So when the students have amazing results and we give them a token, that's to say it's like getting a bonus at work when you perform well. You get a salary at work, but the bonus is that extra motivation. That token is that extra motivation to go the extra mile. No kid left behind. We are proud when we open the newspapers and we see Bishop Rogan 200%. We cannot lie, all of us are very proud. Just like students from Sacred Heart are proud when they open the newspapers and they see 200%. If what we can do in return is to give them a little token after the 200% to say, job well done, there is nothing that's going to stop them from coming back the next year to say, hey, I need to make sure that even the last kid should not be left behind. And if we keep doing that, it's a betterment for our school, it's a betterment for society, and it's a betterment for us as individuals. We cannot pass on the responsibility and say, oh, I paid my school fees, so nobody should bother me. The truth is, we were part of those dormitories. We were part of destroying the dormitories. I know some ex-students today whose names are tattooed in Charles Lwanga's. I don't want to call their names, but when you walk into the dorm, you still see their writings on the wall. They write their names and then they write, I was here. We still see that today. So in a way, giving back to our to our own school it's something to me that is dear to me, because I've always been one of those that have always said, oh, we need this, we need that. Things started changing on me when I said, we have to be the change we want to see in the world. We have to put out the change. My motto now is anything negative that is thrown my direction, I switch it up to a positive. When something negative goes wrong, I don't sit there saying, what happened? How did it happen? No. What can we do to carry this forward? What can we do to fix this and continue moving? Because if we dwell on negatives, if we dwell on passing blame, if we dwell on asking, what's this other person doing? We grew up in a house of siblings. I know I did it. If my mom said, Collins, go wash dishes, I'll turn and say, what's Peter doing? Why is he not washing dishes too? If we live that kind of lifestyle, nothing, not in our personal lives, not in our professional lives, gets accomplished. So to me, giving back is one of the mottos. It's our own way to say thank you, Papa God, for blessing us. Thank you, BiRoCol, for everything you instilled in me while I was growing up. And to the next generation, this is our little token that we can do. When you guys leave, hopefully you copy what we did and you're able to replicate it even more. So, and we don't know what people go through, so we don't know whose life we're really touching. We could really be doing this and touching someone's life. So to me, giving back is very, very important, because without BiRoCol, we would not be in Minnesota today. That's just my take on it.
I see Enyo is doing you some bad there because your lighting is getting off and maybe he's telling us that it's time for us to end the show. But Richard, are there any surprises for the weekend that you have not mentioned? Because surprisingly, maybe the wives and kids are listening and they're wondering that this thing, we are not hearing anything. What's going on?
If the wives and kids are listening and they think that we left them out, um, it's we can't do that because there will be trouble at home. So while we are at our AGM trying to deliberate to make the rules better for BiRoColExSA, we are going to have a boat ride for the wives and kids. They're going to have something to chew and drink and enjoy themselves while we are trying to deliberate to make things better. So there's going to be a boat ride on Saturday for the wife and kids.
Yeah, I wanted you to point that out, that there's going to be a boat ride, and so people should not feel that everybody is taken care of. And so again,
Everybody.
yeah, I really wanted to say thank you to both of you. It's supposed to be a preview. I think the main takeaway for me is about raising $30,000 for Bishop Rogan College. If you are not a Bishop Rogan College ex-student, if you are in Minnesota, there are two main things that you can do this weekend. Two. One, show up for the gala on Saturday. Two, come for mass. Richard, can you text to me the locations for the gala and the mass so that I can put it up for those who may just come in, so that in case people are, I know that you guys have a good network there. So, Mr. President, any last word? National President.
Hey, everybody in Minnesota, all Cameroonians in Minnesota, come out. Your Minnesota chapter has done a wonderful job preparing for us. Come out to the soccer game, come out to the basketball game. It's a Friday. Come out and relax with us. Join us on Saturday evening. Join us on Sunday. Let's all have a wonderful time. And I pray that God bless you all and keep you safe.
I did not want to go to the business of the AGM, but I think that we are going to, that one we'll talk in-house. Those are things that we'll discuss in-house. And Richard, I mean, again, you just put out
there's
something.
one thing I wanted to call on everybody's attention. One last thing.
Yes, go ahead.
I just texted you the program with the address and locations present for that document is supposed to help BiRoColExSA navigate their way throughout their stay in Minnesota. So BiRoColExSA Minnesota chapter is actually spearheading the Adeso Foundation. One of our oldest members, who is Bobby Jerome Chajam, he was a classmate to late Father Patrick Adeso. He saw it that there's a need for to come up with a scholarship program, which we are naming the Adeso Foundation, because Father Adeso was a scholar. He had he did sacred scriptures. He did a lot of studies around. Um, we can applaud him for his work, his good work that he did. So we want to honor him with the naming that foundation, and it is going to be solely to sponsor underprivileged kids who actually have a vocation of becoming priests into the minor seminary. So we're actually officially launching that in Minnesota during this convention. So we are calling on BiRoColExSA who want to see kids who are underprivileged go to school to give us their donations to the Adeso Foundation and to make this dream come true for underprivileged kids. So BiRoColExSA who are out there, we have a convention magazine. There's a lot of articles that you can read. There's support that you can give to BiRoCol or support that you can give to mankind and humanity through the Adeso Foundation. Please reach out to me, reach out to anyone in BiRoColExSA who has an idea of the Adeso Foundation, and they are going to tell you how to give your donations. We'll be sharing the website, we'll be sharing information on how to donate, and we are hoping to kickstart that project this year.
So while we are on it, Convention Gala, you have it right there. 7533 Sunwood Drive, Northwest Ramsey. That's where the gala is. I'm putting this up because, in general, people, they have too many other things. This is where we want to focus on Saturday. If you are not here on Saturday, we'll be sending the police to come and round you up, okay? Because everybody, this is where you are supposed to be. And you would Again, how can Petit be in town and then you are elsewhere? Well, I mean, what is going on? And then the thing again, they made the thing so cheap that they said $50 VIP 100. Come, you see Petit P, JP Sommer, then we say Prince Carter. Three very famous people come and enjoy.
Yes,
Come,
Prince Carter.
come and enjoy. Come and see what Bishop Rogan ex students can do. 50. Gather 10 of you and come and pay, get a VIP table for $100. And after that, after we would have partied, enjoyed, and then raised some, you remember that is 30,000, then we'll show up for mass. Okay? So that the bishop can bless us. I don't want to say the sins that we would have committed that night, they'll be taken away during mass. I think that's sacrilege, but that is where we are going to have mass. Okay? So please come for the gala. After the gala, rest well. Mass is at 12:30. Am I right? So come, and that's the address to the mass. And again, I just wanted to end on this note. You mentioned something about Father Patrick Adeso. Father Patrick Adeso taught me scripture in the seminary. He's one of the best teachers that I ever met. He taught me Greek and sacred scriptures. I think I know a little bit of scriptures now thanks to the work that he did. There were two of them who taught me well, Father Patrick Adeso and Father Ignatius Winding. You guys may not know Father Patrick Adeso. May his gentle soul rest in peace. Murdered in Yaoundé. He was teaching at the Catholic University in Yaoundé. And I think that that's a good cause that Minnesota has taken up. And so that adds to our basket of responsibilities, trying to raise these things. But again, apart from saying that we want to raise this, is just a time for people to get together, decompress, decongest, declutter, and just relax. It's time for us to come together and just relax. And because we are people, we are in a society, life happens, we cannot just relax. There are things that will relax and put a little bit aside to say, hey, something should be. And, when you have a bishop like that, when you're hosting a bishop like that, it's a big responsibility. So while we are doing all these two, we'll make sure that we support the bishop in their 75th anniversary that they are celebrating. They just launched it. So again, I wanted to thank all of you. Richard, I'm sorry. I know you just put out a video announcing that you are running to be president of Bishop Rogan College Excellence Association. That chapter was the Constitution does. If the Constitution allowed it, I would have given you room now to say something. I cannot have the national president here, and then I want you to be talking when I'll be out of order. But I really want to congratulate you, Richard, and the team in Minnesota on a very fantastic collaboration. I don't want to say the work that you guys have done, ça se voit. You can see it. And I also wanted to take this opportunity, Mr. National President. When I looked at the program that was put out, I was very proud. Very proud. Mass program is clear. Who is doing what? Everything is well mapped out. But we are human beings, not robots. Things are going to happen somehow. But I am looking forward to a very, very, very productive weekend. If you are not in Minnesota this weekend, you should be in a monastery. If you are a Bishop Rogan ex-student. If you are not in Minnesota this weekend, go to the monastery and be praying. Pray that we have a successful. I asked for the last word, but if any one of you wants to go on, that will be fine.
Richard.
The last word?
Yep.
The last word is always hard to say goodbye, but it is what it is. We are waiting for BiRoColExSA who are flying tomorrow to come and enjoy Minnesota. I have my boots ready. I promise the Sobans I will have 2 goals in that competition. So let's wait and see. I promise
it is what it is.
I'm going to take care of BiRoColians who are flying to Minnesota. Let's wait and see. So everybody come out. Let's have fun. Life is too short. Let's make good use of it while we have an opportunity. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to chit-chat and talk about progress. What we require for BiRoColExSA is for us to grow. So we are collaborating with the chapters in Cameroon to make sure that we have a common goal and we succeed in them. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. I really appreciate your time, and what you're doing is really helpful for the community. Those who are not informed are going to be informed. We are going to spread out across information on social media, and it helps us to grow. And thank you again once more. Thank you, Minnesota. Really appreciate you. On behalf of BiRoColExSA Minnesota, we say thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Lambert. Thank you.
Right. So again, the weekend I'll be in Minnesota. I'll be covering every event. So I'll make sure that my cameras are ready to bring you the details so that everybody, the things that we can put online, they'll be online. At least you can be sure that the mass will be online. The musicians, the AGM, will be. That's where we fight. So they'll keep that to ourselves. But I want to thank you all and thank you for the time. We look forward to a very, very successful convention. Thank you for your time, Richard. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, Collins, and good night.
Thank you.
Good night.